Big breaking news that we are tracking at this point in time. In a setback for the Mamata government, Supreme Court has dismissed West Bengal government's plea against CBI probe in Sandeshkhali. The West Bengal government had challenged the High Court order transferring the probe to CBI. Supreme Court has rather questioned West Bengal government over Sandeshkhali and asked why was Sheikh not arrested for 50 days. The top court has also said how long does it take to file a charge sheet. The Bengal government in the court had said that the court had stayed investigation and the deadline was also too short for them. And Bengal government says that handling over the case to CBI is against federalism. My colleague Sunil Prabhu is also now joining us on the broadcast with more details here. Sunil, some strong observations coming in from the court. The court has wrapped West Bengal government once again over Sandeshkhali and asked as to why Shahjahan Sheikh was not arrested for 50 days.
There's been no relief from the Supreme Court, and however, those remarks that they had put against the West Bengal government and the police, those have been expunged. But really no relief. So definitely they have to comply, and even question the reason for the delay, as you rightly pointed out, of why they took so long to hand him over to the CBI. So definitely a big setback for the West Bengal government. And this is definitely something that they should have understood right from day one, when the High Court as well as now the Supreme Court, they had wanted it to urgently intervene, didn't comply with the orders. But when the Calcutta High Court had made it clear that you have to comply within immediately and hand over the Shahjahan immediately, then the Supreme Court has really allowed those remarks to be expunged, but made it very clear that they're not interfering and no real relief for the West Bengal government.
It's a top court setback for the Bengal government, and the probe against Sheikh Shahjahan stays with the CBI now. Well, to talk more on that, I'm also being joined by political analyst Mr. Tausif Ahmed Khan. He is also a TMC supporter, and Dr. Shatarupa, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Tausif Ahmed Khan, why does the TMC not want the CBI to probe Sandeshkhali? Is there something to be scared of?
No, if any state police administration is very well equipped to conduct an investigation, and this was already within the domain of the state police, and the investigation had already started. It was actually stayed by the division bench. When the matter went, when the ED went to the High Court, the single bench had already granted a joint investigation consisting of the CBI officer as well as the senior SP of the Bengal police. However, since the matter was stayed, they had to go in appeal. And why will they not go when BJP leaders come here and they tag a senior Bengal police officer as Khalistani, who was only implementing court's order? There was a court's order which had allowed only one of the leader of the BJP to visit Sandeshkhali area, and his workers were not allowed. BJP workers were not allowed, and therefore he was only executing the court order and restraining the BJP workers.
But it was also High Court order that transferred the probe to CBI, and West Bengal government challenged that order in the Supreme Court, and it also got a rap from the top court. The top court has asked the West Bengal government why was Shahjahan Sheikh allowed a free run for 50 days? Why was he not arrested before? There was perhaps a lackadaisical approach on the part of the West Bengal government.
Yes, and the reason was explained to the Honorable Supreme Court, and Supreme Court was satisfied with those reasons, and that is why it is a win for the state government today. The court passed by the order passed by the Honorable Supreme Court.
Okay, let me also bring in Dr. Shatarupa here. I'll come back to you, Mr. Tausif Ahmed Khan. Let's just listen to what the BJP has to say here. Dr. Shatarupa, do you agree with what Mr. Tausif Ahmed Khan is saying here?
Kitty, good afternoon. I admire Tausif Khan's way of, beating around the bush and such extreme optimism that he says this is also a moral victory. In reality, Supreme Court has given the state government a tight slap. They have asked why has Shahjahan not been arrested for such a long time? Almost 2 months that Shahjahan was left to be scot-free. Number one, Supreme Court had been very patient with the state government from the very beginning. Tausif is right. Yes, there was a 3-member SIT being appointed, but nobody did anything about it, and those 3-member team beyond a policeman, there was absolutely no progress on that. Again, CBI waited. Again the court waited and allowed when finally the arrest happened by the police. I mean, and if you remember, the whole country saw the body language of Shahjahan when police was kind of escorting him. He walked in like a VIP with the police following him. And now today, what you're showing in there is the arrest by CBI. I mean, CBI is bringing him to court. Look at his body language. That is like a normal fugitive.
Okay.
But even for 2 days, I think CID was trying to, which is the state investigative organization. They were trying to interrogate him. He had refused to cooperate. He said, go and find out. I've already told the top people. So who are those top people? We would like to know.
Okay,
Finally,
Dr. Tawseef Ahmed Khan, would you like to reply on
said,
that? You've made some important points here, Dr. Shatarupa. Let me also get a reply from Mr. Tawseef Ahmed Khan on that. Mr. Tawseef Ahmed Khan, well, you are saying that the Bengal government, the Bengal police is quite efficient and it's well within its rights to conduct the investigation, or the CID as to say. But the top court, this is not what I am saying. This is what the top court has said today. It took 50 days, 50 long days for the Bengal police to nab Sheikh Shahjahan. It took so long for the Bengal government to file a charge sheet even in this case. What does that say?
Yes, the Supreme Court questioned. Dr. Singhvi was representing the state government, and the Supreme Court questioned, and Dr. Singhvi explained the reason why it took so long. And it has been already in the domain of media that since there was a division bench court, division bench order, which was later clarified. And once the clarification came 2 days after that, Sheikh Shahjahan was arrested. So the Supreme Court was satisfied, and it is for this reason that Supreme Court.
You're saying the court was satisfied, but we'll try and get more details as to what really transpired inside the court, whether the top court was satisfied with these arguments or not. Dr. Shatarupa wants to make a point here. Yes, I don't have much time, Mr. Tawseef Ahmed Khan. I don't have much time here. I've given you enough time. Let me also take a response from Dr. Shatarupa.
I don't know why Tawseef keeps raising the level of illiteracy and lack of understanding of his top leaders. Abhishek Banerjee went on record saying that the High Court had actually stopped the arrest of Shahjahan, and he brought in a stay order, which was actually on SIT. I mean, even High Court went jumped out of its skin and said, "My God, how can you misquote High Court, for heaven's sake?"
Right.
This is what Trinamool keeps doing. High Court was very clear in saying that the SIT was a mistake, and there was absolutely no question of anybody trying to stop an arrest of Shahjahan. In fact, you would remember, Kitty, the way Shahjahan was arrested. At the drop of a hat, suddenly police realized, oh, there is Shahjahan, so we must go and nab him.
Yes, it was right after the court's rap to the West Bengal government that Shahjahan was nabbed, maybe in a day or two, but before that the police was finding it really hard to nab the culprit. All right, thank you so much Dr. Shatarupa and Mr. Tawseef Ahmed Khan for joining us here on the broadcast and sharing your views on that.